I don't know about you guys, but I'm really hungry after seeing Chris's presentation. Let's start with a show of hands, please. Please put your hand up if you enjoy eating meat. Come on, come on, come on. That's about 75%. Keep your hands up. Please put your other hand up if you love the planet and the environment. All right, that's everyone. Okay, thank you. The question is, can we have both hands in the air when meat is responsible for 18% of global greenhouse gas? That's more than all of transportation put together. What's the problem to solve? Well, it's not farming practices. We can grow King Kong-sized animals faster than ever before. The problem is fundamental biology. Animals are really inefficient at taking plant calories in and converting it into flesh and meat calories out. Chicken's the most efficient, 7-to-1. Pork, 15-to-1. But just look at beef. 25 calories in to get 1 meat calorie out. No other industry would accept that. It's craziness. So what's the solution? Well, we can all become vegetarians. I think a lot of us are trying, but it's not happening fast enough. People love their meat and their taste of meat. So can we throw technology at the problem in order to create the real meat that people want in a radically more efficient way? That's Ivy Farm, and we've got a 3-to-1 conversion ratio. We can create real mincemeat with 92% less greenhouse gas, 90% less land use, and 66% less water use versus traditional beef farming. So what's the secret? Well, we simply don't grow the whole animal. We only grow pure muscle and pure fat that we actually want to eat. It means it's healthier, and we can reduce the production time to just 2 weeks versus 2 years to farm traditional beef. Ivy Farm is spun out of Oxford University, and we have unique tech and a unique approach. It's driven by top-class leadership with deep expertise in biotech and consumer goods. We have 8 pieces of IP and 4 more patents in the pipeline, mainly around our PACE platform. That stands for Precision Attribute Cell Engineering. In a nutshell, we can engineer the best cell lines in the world with the attributes needed to scale up in food-grade fermenters, not pharmaceutical-grade bioreactors, which is 10x the price, food-grade fermenters, and they will consume really low-cost nutrients. And we've proven it in our pilot plant. Looks like a small craft brewery. This plant is the cheapest in Europe, all from repurposed food-grade tanks, and it's fully powered by solar. And it's from this pilot plant where we've been able to submit a dossier for food-grade approval in the UK, and we've got an offtake agreement for our Wagyu cell lines. Just to deep dive on people for a second, I'll identify a few. Dr. Kathy Yee is a founder, and she's currently professor at Oxford University. Her department came up with the COVID vaccine. That's where the initial tech was spun out of. Our chairman and our CSO, they're Europe's leading minds on CRISPR, and they've scaled up mammalian tech before. And myself, I bring 25 years of consumer goods experience, so drive the commercial and the execution. It's this leadership that I believe will solve the barriers to cultivated meat. On the one side, external factors. I've given them green lights because we have a customer agreement, offtake agreement, and MOUs with international retailers, the likes of Marks and Spencer. On regulatory side, we've been the first to submit a dossier to the UK FSA, and we're in pre-market consultation with the US FDA, and they've approved 2 companies already this year. So by this time next year, I hope I'm on stage with the regulatory dossiers in my hands saying we're good to go. From a consumer perspective, we've done a lot of taste tests, and we've also done a lot of surveys, and we've identified young consumers who are affluent, are going to be the ones that kick off this process and be the early adopters, and they're a big enough market size. So really, it's about the internal factors. Can we produce quality mincemeat at scale at the right cost? And we believe we're the only ones in this industry that have the technology to do so. So let's have a look at that. Our approach is unique. In box 1, it basically says we've spent 3 years engineering cell lines, using cell libraries to understand the genetics needed. And we've got the best cell lines in the industry that enable us to go to box 2, goes to food-grade fermenter scale-up. This is not only a big cost saving, but it also unlocks and unleashes the power of spare capacity out there and partnerships, so we don't need to spend CapEx. It also allows us to have the lowest cost in the industry. Our cell lines only consume low-cost nutrients, not high-cost hormones and growth factors, and we're keeping things simple. Our mincemeat end product is not trying to be a steak. Is not trying to have texture and structure. It's pure muscle, it's pure fat, and we sell that to food producers to create great burgers and other end products. Let's deep dive on a couple of these. The first one is our cell engineering. What this shows is where we have IP already filed and where we have IP going in through filing to get approval. Behind this is essentially unique library of genetics. And we've put that into a data model which allows us to high throughput identify the genes that have critical attributes. It means that we've not only got the best cell lines, but we will continue to have the best cell lines to either use ourselves or to license for the industry. In terms of de-risking the scale-up, well, we've got the cell lines that can go into food-grade fermenters. What I don't want to do is use VC money to throw at CapEx to prove that we can go from pilot plant to production scale. Instead, we've found a partner. That partner has spare capacity. They make food-grade products at the moment at 10,000 liter all the way to 200,000 liters. So it means that without any CapEx down, we can rent the facility and see just how high our current tech can go in terms of scale. And we'll be able to sell that end product in a really swift time frame. In terms of cost, we not only think we can get to price parity because we're talking about premium Wagyu and Iberico, but also because traditional meat is increasing in price, it'll double in the next 5 years, then we think we can get below traditional meat prices because of the combination of cell engineering and that ability to scale. And as a marketeer, the nutritionals are just outstanding. What this says is, top left, we have a complete protein, all amino acids, essential amino acids in the right ratios versus normal meat. But we can dial up our iron content, which is great, especially for the West, where we have an iron deficiency. On the left-hand side, what you'll see is our omegas. We can train our cells to produce omegas in enough quantity to make a health claim. And combine that with the fact that we can manipulate the saturated versus unsaturated fat ratios, and it's like a marketer's dream. We can take the junk out of junk food. We can make you and me feel less guilty about eating a burger. So what's the market size? Well, meat is $1.3 trillion in size. It's enormous. It's expected to go to $2 trillion by 2050, with cultivated meat projected at $600 billion by then. Now, most of that is commodity-based. We're not interested in that. We only focused on super premium breeds and species. So Aberdeen Angus, Wagyu, venison. And it's here where we have an offtake agreement. We've got an offtake agreement with Finnebrogue Artisan. They make premium meat for not just restaurants, but also retailers in the UK and Europe. One of their best-selling items is their Wagyu burger. They've won awards. But they can't expand their Wagyu herd. And so they asked us to make it with our technology. Thankfully, it looks quite stressful, but we passed the taste test quite recently, and we've got an offtake agreement for up to 3,000 tons of meat. That's about a quarter of a full factory. And that's just from one customer. And the margins that we can command B2B are really strong, above 30%. And if we go B2C in future, we can get as high as 60. So a factory in future producing 12,000 tons will kick out $250 million with really attractive margins, higher than normal food industry, which means we can come down if we need to on price and still have a viable business. Okay, let's wrap this up. The next steps for Ivy Farm are to prove our large-scale runs with a partner, get regulatory approval, and also get first revenue. So for this, we're kicking off a Series B right now. We're raising $30 million. We have a lead investor putting $5 million in, and they've commissioned a technical due diligence document for our data room. So we're looking to fill the round. So if you're interested, please come and find me. And what I'll do, I'll invite you to come to Oxford. I'll invite you to taste the future and join us on this journey, a journey that will mean meat eaters like you and I can put both hands in the air and say, I love meat and I love the planet. Thank you very much.